So this is the next episode in our investigation of minor keys in rock. We're not going to try and cover every possibility that ever crops up, however obscure, but what we're going to look at is the mainstream of what goes on. In this particular case, A minor. And you can hear those two things sound very similar. So what happens in a type 2? Well, this is where instead of it going from A minor to D minor, it goes from A minor to D. That's a very different sound. The A minor is the same, but where it goes. And just to show you how different that is, I'm going to play the defining note from our type 1, and this is not going to sound very nice. It's really ghastly. So we need to understand why type 2 sequence is different and what defines that difference. Well, okay. A minor to D or A minor to B minor. Now this is arguably the less common of the two, but it still happens quite a bit. Okay, both of these chords, if you look at the construction, there's a little graphic here for you. So here's the D. I'm comparing that to a D minor. Okay, now you can see very obviously the difference is that one of those has an F sharp in it, doesn't it? Okay, so this brings us back to the idea of how to use our major scales. What we want is what we had before, a C scale, but with an F sharp in it. Now in plain English, that's a G scale. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Okay, now as with the previous steps, we just want to take this one thing at a time. So we're going to say, okay, we've got A minor. Okay, and we're going to play a major scale which is geographically convenient. This looks like being our 2-octave G scale at second position. Okay, so this is our 2-octave scale, second position. Fits rather nicely over that. It also fits with our B minor. Again, a couple of ways around this. You could say, well, the D has got an F sharp in it, the B minor has got an F sharp in it. But you could also say, well, D and B minor are relatives to each other and therefore interchangeable. So that's our type 2 sequence, and I think you'll be getting the hang of this. In the first type 1 thing, we just took one scale and added one thing at a time. So that was our C scale to A minor. I think, as I say, you'll be getting the hang of this by now, so I don't see any problem with adding maybe a second idea in the same video. So okay, so this time, instead of going down to second position to get to our G scale, I'm actually going to use our C-shaped scale. Okay, so that's sitting up here at 7th position. Okay, and that fits quite nicely on top of our A minor pentatonic. So, okay, it's very important that, as I say, you take these things stage by stage. So that's really just telling you what happens with a type 2. Now, all of these things transfer from one key to another. So in the Next section I'm going to be doing two things. I'm going to be first of all just playing a couple of little examples of how that type 2 sound works and how those scales fit, but also just some really simple ways you can remind yourself of where to find the scale for each of these applications. Anyway, so for the moment that's it. So thanks very much for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and give us a like if you can. It's also good, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next one. Bye for now.